Oui, bravo!
No, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a French class for children 3 and younger.
And with us is the director of the French for Tots program, Francois Thibaut, and it's so nice to have you here with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Or we should say merci for being with us today.
Merci pour l'invitation.
He lost me there.
Thank you for the invitation.
Me too.
Okay.
So now you're teaching kids 3 and younger. How young should you start a child on a second language?
We actually start at 6 months because the very best age to learn a language is between birth and 3. That's really the prime time, because when you think about it, to an American child, an American newborn, for example, Chinese or Japanese is as much a foreign language as English. So it's easy within the first 3 years.
Now, I've heard people say that all children the world over make all the same sounds. It's just your culture picks the sounds that the baby will keep using.
That's right. Yes, yes. You bubble in a different way.
But
right.
Is it good for a kid? I mean, we looked at some of the video, and it almost seems like, well, gee, they're just playing. Are they really learning anything?
Exactly. That's the impression that we want to give. Children learn mostly by playing. Okay. Forget about the traditional classroom where you are seated and the teacher is there, and it's very formal, and you conjugate verbs, and it's torture. No, it's much easier for children to learn through play.
Well, I guess when children are starting to learn to speak in English, they learn through interaction with their parents, with other children. So I guess I would imagine that would just make sense to do it that way with another language.
It makes much more sense. It makes much more sense.
Now, some people might think, well, if I'm trying to teach my son or daughter, baby that they are, how to speak English, am I not going to confuse them by trying also to just demonstrate French?
Actually, they don't get confused at all, because at birth, children can learn many languages at the same time. The only way they could get confused is if the same person keeps switching from one language to another and translating. Okay. Otherwise, let's suppose in families of bilingual parents, if a parent is French and another one, I had a child like that. The father is French, the mother is American, the grandmother is German. Okay. And the child speaks with the grandmother the way she speaks. He doesn't know it's German, but he knows it's her way. And he speaks with the mother her language, and with the father his language.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so it's very natural for children.
Why do you think it's a good idea for a child to have a second language?
Because first, it's the best time to learn a language, and second, we are living in a global world. So today, if you want to be able to have a good job in the future, you will not be able to do it without knowing at least 2 languages. So it becomes extremely important to know another language.
Just talking about languages, do you think our system in the schools in America is particularly antiquated or behind the times for teaching a foreign language? And
I would say
don't be kind.
Okay. I would say it's a little bit behind the times, because I have seen children who have learned French, for example, for many years, some of them, reach college, and when you ask them a very simple question like, where do you live, okay, they cannot answer. They can conjugate verbs. By the way, one time I was at Bloomingdale's, okay, speaking with a friend of mine in French, and that person, a salesman, saw me, and he says, are you French? I said, yes, I'm French. He says, I said, parlez-vous français? Do you speak French? He looked up and down for a few minutes, and he says, je parle, tu parles, il parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle. Which is, I speak, you speak. That's what he learned.
Like an ice cream rhyme, and that's about it.
He told me later on that his French, that he didn't like too much his French teacher.
So that was about all he was doing.
That can be difficult. Francois, thanks very much for being with us.
You're welcome. Okay.
And if you would like further information about this program or any other ones Francois offers,
you can dial this number. That's 212-396-0830.